Amazing Spider-Man Volume 6, number 50, or Legacy numbering 944, kicks off an arc that is being billed as the climax of Zeb Wells' 2-year-long run on Amazing Spider-Man, and I'll admit, I'm really not sure what to think about it. This issue, of course, reveals that Norman Osborn is the Green Goblin again. He has been re-imbued with those sins. He has been re-imbued with the Goblin persona. But it also reveals that Peter was never completely cleansed of the Goblin sins 15 issues ago like we thought he was. So they're kind of bringing in this Spider-Man, Spider-Goblin, they're kind of bringing that back from the arc that we saw 7-8 months ago. And they're kind of turning Spider-Man into the Winter Soldier in a way, because in order to activate these dormant remnant sins of the Green Goblin that are still hidden deep within Peter's psyche, Norman Green Goblin uses an activation sentence, and I'm like, okay, did you just watch Captain America Civil War and just think, oh yeah, Winter Soldier code words to activate it. Let's do that with Peter Parker in this issue. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just saying it's very, very unoriginal. It's interesting to see this take, and I'm intrigued on where they're going to go with it. I'm glad to see in this issue that Peter is not at all surprised by Norman becoming the Goblin again. I'm glad to see that he is, in a way, prepared for it. Of course, we have this twist now of Peter being crazy in his own right. I'm a little bit unsure on what to think about this, because we did this story 15 issues ago. We saw Peter Parker imbued with the sins of the Green Goblin already. And we've seen the quote-unquote Spider-Goblin. So I'm wondering exactly how they're going to make this story, how they're going to advance it in a way that we haven't already seen before. Because we saw what he did to Kraven, what he did to Mary Jane and Paul, and all of just the horrible, out-of-character things that he did while imbued with those goblin sins. So how is it going to be different this time? That's my biggest question walking away from this issue is, okay, I feel like I've read this story before, so Zeb, you're really going to need to sell me on how this is, taking this a step further and how you're differentiating it from something that you've already done in the past. I will give this issue a good review. It's a decent start. It's definitely got a lot more questions being raised than answers being given. In terms of the artwork, Ed McGuinness and his team do an absolutely fantastic job as they do at pretty much everything. I love Ed McGuinness's artwork. I loved it on Jason Aaron's Avengers, and I've loved what he's done since he's been brought over to Amazing Spider-Man. So overall, this issue sets up an arc that has, for me, a lot to prove, and let's hope that Zeb can really move this forward in a way that doesn't feel like we're just repeating things that we've seen before. And let's hope that he can deliver a solid climax to not just this arc, but to his run in general.